Hola clase, in this video I will introduce the stem changing verbs that we can find in the preterite. Remember those stem changing verbs that we learned back in Spanish 1 that has some changes, the boot verbs? Well, now we can find some of them in the preterite in the past tense. So let's see, first of all, let's go back a little bit and remember what we just learned. Remember that the preterite and with regular verbs, they have some new endings. For AR verbs, we have those endings. For ER or IR verbs, we have those endings right here. So we're going to kind of forget about the AR endings and the ER, but well, these are the IR endings and we do need these. So remember these endings, iste, yo, imos, isteis, dieron. So have those in mind because we're going to be using them now. So let's see. Why did I say that we can kind of forget about the AR and ER? Well, because any stem changing verbs that we learned in the past that had those changes in the stem, querer, quiero, pensar, pienso, they don't have any of those changes in the preterite, in the past, when we're talking about the preterite, what happened in the past. So, yay, perfect. We can kind of forget about those. Now, we do have to focus on the verbs that had changes and end in IR. And I'll give you a list of verbs in a second. But those that end in IR, they're going to have two main changes. The ones that had changes, the E to I or IE, now the E changes to I, and some of them, only a few of them, you'll see, the O changes to U. So let's see two of them here. So servir, to serve, and dormir, to sleep. Servir, you can see that those changes only affect to the third person. The E in the stem, that E right there, it doesn't change in the yo form or the tú form or nosotros form or the vosotros form. So it does change, the E changes to an I in the él, ella, usted form and also in the ustedes or ellos or ellas forms. So here you need to be careful. And also remember, I already dropped the IR and I'm using those endings that I just said that you need to remember. Y, iste, yo, imos, isteis, dieron. Then with dormir, dormir is one of those that the O would change to U. Now in the preterite, not UE, just U. So don't worry about these four forms, but we do have to change the O to U in these third person singular and third person plural. Okay? Good. So those are two examples, servir and dormir. And you have other verbs right here in this table. You can pause this and look at it. But I would just recommend for you to go to your textbook and look at the verbs that we have there, because those are the ones that you're going to see on exams and connect. So just make a list and you got it. I wrote all of this down for you just so that you can see the meanings and you can see that most of them the E changes to I, but the ones, only three here, the ones that have an O are the ones that the O will change to U. So only three of them: morir, to die, dormir, or you can also use morirse, and then dormir, to sleep, and dormirse, to fall asleep. These are similar but not the same. Okay, so again, the same example, servir, dormir, just so that you can see the change and the endings that are the IR endings in the preterite, and then the two endings right there. Okay, this is just a different way to see it, just all the forms like that. So other verbs that we can see: to feel, sentirse, pedir, to ask for, or order, like order food at a restaurant, and morirse, to die. So sentirse, be careful. And morirse, these are reflexive verbs. Remember reflexive verbs, if you have a se, they're going to need the pronoun in front of the verb. So you're going to do the same thing. Put the right ending, the E that changes to I, only in the third form, and then the pronoun. So here the E we keep it. But here, look at that. Me, te, se, we have the pronouns, the reflexive pronouns because this verb ends in se, and then the e that changes to I. What happened with these forms? Same thing. Don't change the e in here, but we do have to change it in the third person right there. And then same thing with these verbs. But here we don't have any se, it's not pedirse, so just pedí, pediste, pidió, pedimos, pedisteis, pidieron. And then for this one, again, we need to use the reflexive pronouns me, te, se, nos, os, se. And the o changes to you, remember? And only in the third person. So yeah, this would be some examples. Then you have a lot of examples here. You can go to this PowerPoint that you have in Blackboard. I want to keep this video short, so I'm going to kind of pass through these, and you can go to the PowerPoint or pause this video and look at the examples. But yeah, March sirvió el desayuno. Since it's she, you are changing the e to I, sirvió, and then the ending for a third person. And then, let's see, Lisa pidió unos libros en la biblioteca. She asked for some books at the library. Pidió, the E changes to I. More sentences. He, Bart, got dressed for the school, and Homer got or achieved or obtained a new magazine. Conseguir is to get something or to obtain. Yesterday evening, what happened? Maggie felt, that's to feel, sentirse. So she felt sad. Bart and Lisa had fun with their friends. Se divirtieron. You can see how the vowels change when you have one person or several people, like right there. Other examples that you can pause or look later. He kept playing. Seguir is to continue or keep doing something. So he continued or kept playing video games. Lisa preferred to read a book. Sometimes you can have two verbs. Remember that the second verb never changes. You only conjugate the first verb when you have two verbs right next to each other like that. She fell asleep at 10. Okay. And then other examples. I wanted to say that in Blackboard you can find a good worksheet. If you cannot find it, just let me know, but it's in Blackboard right there. A really good worksheet where you can practice all of this. Here you have the answers, and you also have the answer key in Blackboard. You can have, it's just for the first activity. But yeah, it's a good way to practice. And let me go to the worksheet and show you which one it is. Okay, so here it is. Verbos con cambio en el pretérito. You have the main rules, just the verbs again, and a few examples again. And this is just for you to practice with those verbs or those, verb forms that change. Pedir. Let's write down this form and that form. Just the forms that change. Conseguir. Okay, the E would change to I. Okay, divertirse. The E would change to I and put the right endings. Yo or ieron. Since those are the endings that are the ones that change. The ella or the ellos form. So this is just to practice. You don't have to do this. And then a lot of tables for you to write down all of those forms. And the activities that I was mentioning, that you have the answer key in Blackboard and also in the PowerPoint. And that's it. Make sure you review. This is a good activity. Also, what do you do? What did your friend do? And you can use some of these verbs to just practice practice in the past. So also in these activities you might find some of the regular normal verbs, but also some of these stem changing verbs that we just covered. So let me know if you have any questions, and that will be it for this video. Adios.